We've all heard the story. A giant asteroid hits Earth, and boom, the dinosaurs are gone. That's what we read in books and saw in movies. But the real story is way more terrifying, complex, and tragic than just one big explosion. Tonight, we're going to travel back 66 million years, but not just to see the moment of impact. We're going to find out what really happened during the final days of the dinosaurs' reign and how 75% of all life on Earth was wiped out. This is the truth you don't usually get in your school books. So, if you're ready to pull back the curtain on the final days of these amazing creatures, stick with us. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can uncover more science stories together. Close your eyes and picture it. 66 million years ago, Earth is a totally different planet. The air is thick with oxygen, and lush, dense forests create a paradise for the most gigantic creatures history has ever seen. This is a planet ruled by dinosaurs. For over 160 million years, these magnificent reptiles were the undisputed rulers of the planet. From Tyrannosaurus rex, the ruthless predator that shook the ground with every step, to the massive Triceratops with their iconic horns. In the skies, pterosaurs soared, and in the oceans, mosasaurs were the absolute kings of the water. This world was a complex, bustling ecosystem where dinosaurs had reached the peak of their evolution. They lived on every continent, from the cold poles to the hot tropical forests, and it seemed like their reign would last forever. There was no natural predator that could possibly threaten their throne, but they had no idea that the greatest threat in the planet's history wasn't coming from Earth, but from the dark depths of space. Without anyone knowing, the countdown to the end of a glorious empire had already begun. Way out past Mars, in the asteroid belt, a stray rock started its deadly journey toward us. This wasn't just any asteroid. It was a cosmic giant, about 10 to 12 kilometers wide, roughly the size of Mount Everest. This silent killer was hurtling toward our planet at a mind-blowing speed of about 70,000 kilometers per hour. But the dinosaur's fate didn't just depend on the impact itself. It was all about where and how it hit. And this is where we find the first piece of the hidden truth. The planet was already under stress. Massive volcanic eruptions in the Deccan Traps region of India had been messing with the climate. Now, this asteroid was heading for one of the worst possible spots on Earth, a shallow sea over the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. This specific area was full of sulfur-rich rocks, a combination that was about to turn a disaster into a global apocalypse. Some studies suggest that if this asteroid had arrived just a few moments sooner or later and crashed into the deep ocean instead, the non-avian dinosaurs might still be around today. But fate had a very different story written for them. And then the moment came. 66 million years ago, the sky split open. The Chicxulub asteroid, moving dozens of times faster than a bullet, slammed into the atmosphere and set the air on fire. In an instant, the sky became brighter than 1,000 suns. The energy released at the moment of impact is unimaginable, equal to billions of atomic bombs. In a fraction of a second, every living thing for hundreds of kilometers was vaporized. The planet rang like a giant bell, and earthquakes of an unprecedented scale shook the entire globe. But that was just the beginning. The impact in the shallow water kicked up monstrous tsunamis. Walls of water, hundreds of meters high, moved at speeds approaching 150 kilometers per hour, crushing the coastlines. At the same time, the collision blasted billions of tons of molten rock and ash into the sky. These hot particles rained down on the continents like a shower of fire, turning lush forests into a burning hell. For the dinosaurs that somehow survived the initial blast and the tsunamis, this was only the beginning of the nightmare. And this brings us to the heart of the story, the part they usually leave out. Most of the dinosaurs weren't killed by the blast or the fire. They died from something far more sinister and drawn out, an impact winter. Remember how we said the asteroid hit a sulfur-rich area? That's the key. The impact shot a horrifying amount of sulfur, soot, and dust into the upper atmosphere. These particles created a thick, impenetrable blanket around the entire planet, completely blocking out the sun. The planet was plunged into total darkness. Days became like starless nights, and this darkness lasted for months, maybe even years. Without sunlight, photosynthesis stopped. Plants, the very foundation of the food chain, began to die. At the same time, global temperatures plummeted, and the planet was thrown into a sudden ice age. Toxic acid rain poisoned the oceans, wiping out marine life. In this frozen darkness, the planet itself seemed to turn against life. Rivers froze, shallow seas became lifeless slabs of ice, and once fertile lands turned into silent deserts. Every sunrise that never came pushed surviving species closer to extinction. Even eggs buried deep in the soil failed to hatch in the unrelenting cold. The Earth had entered a reset mode, brutal, indifferent, and absolute. Survival was no longer about strength or size. It was about luck, adaptability, and hiding. The age of giants was over, not with a roar, but with a slow, suffocating silence that echoed across the planet. This was the impact winter, a global climate catastrophe that turned the planet into an uninhabitable wasteland. And that's the tragic truth of the extinction. The dinosaurs didn't die in a flash. They were slowly, painfully dragged toward annihilation in a world that was dark, cold, and toxic. For the dinosaurs that were left, life became a desperate scramble for survival. The plant eaters were the first to go. As the plants vanished, they starved and died off, one by one. With the herbivores gone, it was the carnivores' turn. Tyrannosaurus rex, the unchallenged king of its time, now wandered a world empty of prey. These mighty predators were now the victims of a collapsed food chain. The endless cold and darkness delivered the final blows. As reptiles that depended on environmental heat, the dinosaurs' massive bodies slowly shut down in the bone-chilling cold of the impact winter. They died from starvation, from cold, and from sheer hopelessness. About 75% of all living species, including all non-avian dinosaurs, were wiped out in the event known as the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction. The magnificent empire that had lasted for 160 million years was reduced to ash in just a few years. Only the small species that could burrow underground or survive on little food, like small mammals and the ancestors of modern birds, had a chance to make it. As tragic as it was, the extinction of the non-avian dinosaurs cleared the way for a new world. In the shadow of the giants' extinction, our tiny mammal ancestors got their chance to come out from the shadows, to evolve, and to fill the empty spaces they left behind. This event changed the course of evolution forever, and ultimately kicked off the chapter that led to the rise of an intelligent species, us. The Chicxulub crater, that 180-kilometer-wide scar still hidden beneath the Yucatan Peninsula, is a memorial to that fateful day. It's a reminder of just how fragile life can be and how powerful the cosmos is. That crater isn't just a hole, it might just be the starting point of our world. So, let us know. What do you think our world would look like today if that asteroid had hit just a few minutes later and landed in the deep ocean? Drop your theories in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss our next one. Thanks for sticking with us.